The field with the dead tree. Good. I'm nearly there. Don't move!
Ah, that cursed dancer! May you be devoured by rust!
Fortunately, he was unable to take his things with him. Sleepless slaves. They meant the automats. Feeding off the blood of innocent people. Monsieur Raymond was completely mistaken. I must inform him.
Madame. Here. Do you come bearing good news?
Your wife. You may rest easy, monsieur. Your wife escaped the massacre. She returned home and left you this letter.
Oh, monsieur. She's going to meet our daughter and son-in-law at our charity hospital.
She may already be there.
Madame, I did not dare to dream of such an outcome. My wife and daughter. Can you imagine? And I thought I had lost both of them. The three of us will be able to leave the kingdom and put these horrors behind us forever.
What about the bombs?
Oh, the bombs. Do with them as you see fit. As long as the king does not use them. As for me, I'm going to find my family at once. Thank you. From the bottom of my heart. I pray that your efforts will be successful. Adieu, madame. Adieu.
Minister Necker has given these bombs to me.
Mon Dieu, this is nearly impossible to comprehend. I spoke with Monsieur Lavoisier in the first days of the Estates General, as director of the Caisse Compte. He estimates that these bonds currently represent 1/5 of the kingdom's treasury.
Wealth that the king squanders for his personal benefit according to his whims. Monsieur Necker certainly has been very generous to his adoptive country.
I'm afraid you're mistaken. Monsieur Lavoisier claimed that this loan was granted at an exorbitant rate. Whatever his fondness for the nation, Monsieur Necker never lost his business sense.
Eh bien, monsieur, to what you should employ this boonful fortune. If I could spend it, I'd do everything I could to return to the people their confiscated freedom. To begin, I would get them the bread they so sorely need. It is only after the scourge of famine has been vanquished that armed patriots might then be able to rise up against despotism.
And when we fight wait, Robespierre, will you steal it from under the noses of the automats who have sworn to destroy the human race? As for arming the people, this is another one of your delusions. How could your ragged pack of wretches win any sort of battle that unable to lift a sword?
When you insult the people, you insult me, Monsieur Chevalier.
I am not insulting anyone, Robespierre, but I happen to know what it takes to fight. Unlike you, Monsieur. I was a lad of 15 when I took up arms, and everyone here knows my role in the liberation of America from British rule. If you allow me to dispose of these bonds, I will found an army that will annihilate Clockwork King's diabolical machines. As soon as I have the opportunity to leave Paris, I will rally the officers and troops that are stationed in the provinces. Then I will call for a mammoth uprising. I will have more than enough money to pay their wages and procure the weapons we need.
And you will have obedient troops at your beck and call, ready to repress anyone who challenges your power.
These troops will only serve the will of the people. I swear it.
Are you sure the king can spare the rest of the kingdom, Monsieur Marquis?
I am almost certain of it, Père. Despite all the resources, the king does not have enough power to occupy all the garrisons in the country.
Jesus. No member of the Assembly can force your hand. The choice is yours. To whom will you trust, Monsieur Necker bonds?
Maximilian Robespierre. I have chosen to entrust this fortune to you.
Very well, madame. I promise that I will use one purpose only. Freedom for the people and by the people. When a man violates people's fundamental rights, insurrection is their most sacred and indispensable duty. But we must be wary of warmongers who claim to defend our happiness.
Bon sang, am I the only one who is weary of hearing these high monologues?
For they wish only to silence us and take their own turn playing tyrants.
Congratulations, Jesus. You've chosen to be as Commander-in-Chief. I'm sure the King will be delighted to hear this. He need not fear his throne now.
Monsieur B. I found this box had astronomical symbols on it. I believe it belongs to Dr. Gorgon's daughter.
A secret box. I built it by my own hands. It was my gift to her on her 15th birthday.
I think they told her in it.
Naturellement. But I and the only ones who know how. Allow me. You must arrange the planet the way they were aligned on the day of Athenai's birth. Why like this?
What is this locket?
Athenais is always wearing this. It contains a portrait of her late mother. She said it was her most cherished possession in all the world. Think, the poor child never knew her own mother.
Monster!
You froze the moment you touched the locket. I thought I'd lost you.
I saw her. Athenais de Vaucanson. Comte de Cagliostro has her.
Mon Dieu. It is just as I feared.
He bound her spirit to an automat.
Please, say no more. Athenais. It is her spirit that animates you. Is it not?
Yes. I believe so.
Seigneur, quelle abomination. It is vital you go and find Athenais as soon as possible.
She is right in front of you. I am Athenais.
Alas, I fear that is not entirely accurate. You know nothing of Athenais, Lydia. Nothing of her past, her joys, her suffering. Nothing of her love for her father. You are but the vessel that harbors the poor child's soul.
Where can I find Athenais' body?
God only knows. Though I assume that the Comte de Cagliostro is taking pains to keep her alive. This is certainly the only way to keep her spirit alive in you. The only way to free her is to find her body.
Why was Eugène de Vaucanson imprisoned in the Bastille?
Once he discovered the king's true intentions, he refused to continue cooperating with him. He refused to use his talents to create this abominable army. But the king didn't take kindly to his resignation. Eugène did manage to get a letter to me just before he was arrested. Here, take it.
Monsieur Raymond.
Go on, pages.
I went to the Hotel de Massiac as agreed. What I discovered goes beyond your darkest conjectures. The club's members have no intention of merely depriving their slaves of rest. Rather, with the king's support, they plan to replace them with automat harvesters. The Count of Cagliostro is behind the plan.
Ma foi. But such a plan would certainly only improve the lot of these unfortunate people.
You are mistaken, mon père. If the planters get their way, they will have a greater need of slaves than ever. Only this time, they intend to slaughter them to power their machines.
Quelle abomination!
Par tous les saints.
4 days ago, the Paris Guard captured 100 black people. They were to be sacrificed as part of an experiment to test the effectiveness of the automat harvesters. Luckily, I was able to prevent the massacre.
Where are they now?
In a place they call the Dépôt des Noirs. I don't know where it is, but I managed to get the key. It bears the inscription, Tour du Diable.
The Devil's Tower is a prison in Vincennes, within the chateau walls.
That's 3 leagues from here. We'll only be able to free the prisoners once we're able to move freely ourselves.
At least they were spared the fate that the king and his accomplices had planned for them.
And what will you do with the 2 servants you employ, Monsieur Raymond?
I will continue to treat them well, as I always have.
However, under the laws you insist on following,
They will become slaves again the moment they leave the kingdom for Saint-Domingue.
Certainly not, Monsieur de Robespierre. What kind of a man would I be if what I have heard had not opened my eyes? The planters of Massiac have been proven to be nothing but avaricious murderers. I thought I was dealing with opposition, but now I discover them to be vile enemies, from whom it would be vain to expect any compromise. From this day on, I will fight against their interests with all my strength, and will not lay down my arms until the last slave in the Empire has been freed.
Rest assured, then, that the people will fight by your side, Monsieur Raymond.
That's the spirit, my friends. Vive l'égalité.
Can I help you, Aegis?
I found this notebook written in Latin.
Indeed. Medieval Latin, to be precise. Oh, hold on. Bon sang. Aegis, what a find. This handwriting. I would recognize it anywhere. It's in Nicholas Flamel's own hand. Give me some time to study this, and I'll tell you what I'm able to glean from it.
Have you finished reading the notebook, mon père?
Yes, Aegis, and what I learned from it puzzles me. In this diary, Flamel tells of 3 journeys. 3 journeys into what he calls the in-between. A strange world filled with wandering souls. Tormented spirits that are unable to ascend to heaven.
This world. It's where Cagliostro's victims were trapped until I freed them.
En effet, I believe you're right. But that's not all. Flamel planned to return there a 4th time. He wrote this in the final paragraph, in his handwriting, dated 21st of March 1418. That was the day before he died, Aegis. What if his body died while his soul was traveling through limbo? What if he were trapped, a prisoner in this purgatory? Aegis, because of your unique nature, we have an incredible opportunity.
What do you mean, mon père?
If the soul that animates you has been bound to the automaton that serves as its vessel, then it can be separated from it too. And if this were the case, the soul would travel to purgatory, where Cagliostro entraps the souls of his victims.
Hold on. Are you trying to convince me to go and find Nicholas Flamel?
I'm offering you a chance to speak to the man who discovered the Philosopher's Stone. Surely you won't pass it up.
Assuming I agree to venture into purgatory, do I even have a chance of finding him there?
Certainly. According to this journal, the soul flies to the zenith of the place where it left the body of the deceased. Or that of the pilgrim, in this case. If Flamel's soul is trapped in purgatory, as we've guessed, you'll need to go to the house where he drew his dying breath.
Is it still standing?
Of course. It's on Rue de Montmorency, in the quartier de l'Hôtel de Ville. You can get there via the cemetery of the Église Saint-Jacques.
And how do you plan to free my spirit from this automat?
We would simply need to break the bond between them. To do this, we would need to stop your machinery. For a short time, of course. We don't want to lose you, ma chère. As for the rest, it will be a question of mechanics, chemistry, or electric currents, or something or other. Therein lies the problem. This is far beyond my comprehension. But it is fascinating, isn't it? Perhaps Monsieur Bailly could shed some light on the matter.
Goodbye, mon père. Monsieur Bailly. Do you think there is any way to interrupt my internal clockwork?
A most unusual thought. What do you have in mind, Aegis?
I would like to briefly sever the bond between my spirit and this automat.
I couldn't say for certain. If only I could consult with my colleagues at the Academy. Do you know what happened to Monsieur Lavoisier?
He is not yet able to join us. He's still at the Palais de Luxembourg.
Ah, I see, ma chère. Well, I hope you can bring him back to us safe and sound.
Monseigneur.
What can I...
Good...
Ali...
Monsieur...
Go.
Can I help you?
Good... Monsieur le Marquis.
I'm listening.
Good. Miss. What does this letter?
Who gave you the right?
I'm curious about how you got rid of Italia.
To tell you the truth, you're not entirely wrong. It is a missive sent by my father, the Marquis de Mirabeau, the scoundrel who shamelessly dares to call himself the friend of man. He writes to say that he is on the brink of death, in such a desperate state that he has received extreme unction. This reprobate used his final moments on this mortal plane to send me threats yet again. He swears that he will torment me from beyond the grave.
How is that possible?
To my knowledge, he has not yet deigned to shuffle off this mortal coil. In any case, the satisfaction of knowing he is dead would not assuage my concern. This man is more persistent than the plague. He's capable of anything. He has spent his entire life persecuting his family. And I believe he is ready to spend his eternal rest continuing to do the same. I need to know what he's planning.
Where is he now?
At his home in Argenteuil. Given the circumstances, going to ask him for an explanation is out of the question. But the man who heard his final confession is here.
Monseigneur de la Fare.
Precisely. Only this confounded shaveling refuses to tell me a word of what the old dragon confided to him. He stubbornly insists on the secrecy of confession. Bon sang. Will we ever be rid of these damned superstitions? Aegis, would you be so kind as to intercede with the bishop? Perhaps you will be able to make him change his mind.
So how is Monsieur Marat?
I haven't...
He is your only chance to reach... He's holed up in the quarries of Montmartre, hiding from the Marquis de Lafayette.
Goodbye, Monseigneur.
What can I do for you, Aegis?
Monseigneur, I would like to talk to you about your recent meeting with the Marquis de Mirabeau.
What has gotten into all of you? This has gone on long enough. I will say it one last time and pray that they will finally leave me alone. Nothing and no one will make me violate the secrecy of his confession. Have I made myself clear?
Perfectly clear, Monseigneur. Monsieur de Mirabeau. Alas, the bishop stubbornly refused to reveal anything.
Damn it. I need to know what my rogue of a father is up to. Let me think. In light of the cartload of threats he sent me, it's safe to wager that my sister and mother received similar letters. They may even have already suffered his revenge. However, my sister lives in Grasse in the south of France. Unless a messenger rode 100 horses to death, she could not have received this letter. Then there is my poor mother.
If you ask me, I will go to find her.
Yes, it's very kind of you to offer. But I couldn't even tell you where she is staying.
Your own mother?
Indeed. It's a very embarrassing matter. A secret, which I beg you not to divulge.
I can be discreet. Rest assured.
Very well. You should know that my mother, the Countess of Covey, has lost everything. Truly. First her fortune, then her faculties. No matter what I tried, nothing could prevent her decline. It is said that she is now living on charity, in the most abject poverty in the slums of the Marais. If perchance your past takes you to this dreadful place, and if she still remembers who she is, perhaps you may meet her. Have you found my mother?
No.
Remember, rumor has it she lives in the...
I found a broken cane. It says Franciscus Antonius on it. Do you know who it belongs to?
Well, I never. Yes, I know the owner. And I'm willing to bet you're looking for a certain François Antoine.
That's right.
Well, you'd need to look a little further east, mademoiselle. Across the Rhine, for a start. Because this cane belongs, or belonged, to a certain Franz Anton Mesmer.
Mesmer, the prince of charlatans. It's been a long time since I've heard his name.
5 years to be exact since your learned commission denounced his theories.
It wasn't long after that when he disappeared.
Can you tell me more about Mesmer?
He was a mystical healer who was once popular with the upper class. I myself attended several of his sessions.
You mentioned a commission.
The king did not look kindly on the healer's popularity within the court. This led him to appoint a commission from the Royal Academy of Sciences, an institution to which Monsieur Lavoisier and I have the honor to belong. We were asked to investigate his alleged powers. The experiments that we performed allowed us to determine that Monsieur Mesmer's activities were pure charlatanism, a conclusion that destroyed his successful career the moment it was published.
You dismiss Monsieur Lavoisier's remarks rather hastily. He doesn't shout it from the rooftops, but in his opinion there was still something. A tiny flow of energy that his devices were able to measure.
However, his observations could never be reproduced. It was obviously a momentary failure of his equipment, though he stubbornly refuses to believe it.
When and how did Monsieur Mesmer disappear?
The denunciation of his techniques was the start of a long descent into hell for Monsieur Mesmer. He was abandoned by his clients and resumed his research in virtual secrecy. I think he was hoping to perfect his so-called science and restore his reputation with the Academy.
A hope that led him to associate himself with that dastardly Cagliostro. God only knows what experiments they may have carried out. In any case, their collaboration did not last long. Monsieur Mesmer left the kingdom overnight to return to his mother country.
Why did he leave so quickly?
That is a mystery. But those who saw him that morning say it was as if he had the devil at his heels. He left in such a hurry that he abandoned everything he owned, furniture, belongings, and scientific equipment. And it seems that Cagliostro has inherited this treasure.
Is that so? Well, if what you say is true, that broken cane must have passed into the Count's hands.
Yes, it's likely.
This adventurer from who knows where is quite the mysterious character. And he has been very busy recently. I've been able to observe him from my apartment, making frequent visits to Rue Saint-Honoré, on the Tuileries side. I wonder what he was doing there.
What were Monsieur Mesmer's theories?
He supported an imprecise theory he called animal magnetism. He claimed to be able to channel a purported universal healing fluid by passing his hands over patients and using magnets.
He also cobbled together a whole array of mad devices, each stranger than the last. Unfortunately, despite all his attempts, I don't know that he ever cured anyone.
What happened during Monsieur Mesmer's treatment sessions?
Oh, they were quite a spectacle to behold. Imagine well-born ladies afflicted with perfectly imaginary illnesses. A dimly lit room where incense has been burned to intoxicate the soul and cloud your vision. Amiable servants, half-dressed, gliding from countess to duchess to the sound of a sensual melody. And the great Mesmer, a doctor with wandering hands, presiding over the wonderful scene. Oh, you should have seen them. Those grand ladies moaning, crying, and falling into a swoon, clinging to that strange tub. Du théâtre, ma chère. Pure theater.